Alright, well, kind of had a change of plans. You know, definitely gonna have to put a motor in this car, but I don't know, we got to talking about it and I think we're just gonna try throwing the bearings in there. And you know, I got a new pump coming, new bearings. Just gonna throw those new bearings in there, try firing this thing up and see what happens. We got a new front seal, so we're gonna slap that on here. I think the rear main is probably the biggest part of the leak problem, but I think the plan now, we're gonna throw the bearings in, put a regular normal volume oil pump on here because it shouldn't have a high volume pump on it, and we'll see if it'll run, see what happens as far as like rod knock and all that, because that thrust bearing is really destroyed. So, you know, kind of just rolling the dice on it. I mean, we could start it up and it could just, you know, start knocking again, so who knows. But we just want to try that out, and I'm sure it's still going to be leaking oil because I'm sure that rear main's still leaking, but just for the sake of seeing what we could accomplish with just swapping the bearings, we're going to try that out. And then I'm probably going to be getting my hands on a motor out of I think it's coming out of a Lincoln Mark 7 or something like that. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. If I can get it to stop knocking or not be as ridiculous with the rod knock, I might just pull that tranny down and put a rear main seal in it and kind of band-aid it up for the rest of this year just to roll it. If not, we'll end up throwing that motor in there. I mean, it's going to get a motor either way. You know, I'd rather take the time and build a half-assed decent motor for it. I mean, I'm not planning on getting crazy, but, you know, it'd be nice to just get that motor here, tear it down, you know, put it on an engine stand and play around with that thing instead of trying to swap all this stuff in 2 seconds. So, like I said, we're just going to throw the bearings in there. I got a new oil pump and we'll see what's going to happen. Should be interesting little experiment. So, you know, just get it running with it up on jack stands, and, you know, if we can get it to run for an hour sitting on jack stands with a fan blowing on it, then I think we're probably good to go, and then we'll see what happens. Even if it runs for an hour, I'll probably have a sea of oil down here from the rear main leaking, but we'll find out. Got that front seal out of there. Took the power steering pump off. I got a new pump. I got new lines, got a new rack. It's the damper. This thing is kind of loaded with oil. So when you go to take the seal out, you know, you can just kind of start prying it up with a screwdriver and get one side peeled up and just keep working it. It'll pop out of there. It's kind of a pain, but it'll come out. So, got that new power steering pump, gonna throw that on there. Having issues with the new pump, power steering pump, to chase the holes out. You know, so I'm saying, get this thing. It's this been worth its weight in gold. So this hole, we couldn't get it to thread all the way. So running the chase through there, straighten it out. So you know how I just told you to buy this thing? Well, not even 5 minutes later, it just saved my bacon again. Because this, trying to reinstall the pulley for that power steering pump, you know, threads are all chewed up on this. So, just chased them out with that thread restorer, and I got that thing to work. If I hadn't had that tool, I'd be dead in the water right now. So, definitely pick this thing up, man. This thing, and last year, working on my dad's car, like that thing that thing saved us so many times, it's not even funny. Like I said just now, that's not even 5 minutes and it saved the day again. So definitely pick that thing up. So got the pump on there, got that pulley back on. Gonna have to put that new front main seal back in. Alright guys, so can't remember where I left off on the last video, so I'm probably repeating myself, but that's fine. So we got that power steering pump on there. We did decide we're just going to try throwing bearings at this. You know, we talked it over, and then even Fox Body Mike had made the comment, like, you know, just throw bearings at it. So just going to go the throwing the bearings in their route. Everyone seems to agree with that. So got the new got a new rack, power steering rack. The old rack was destroyed. That old pump fell apart, so that's on there. Got the lines. Got a new high pressure line that's just not out here in the garage. So we got the new oil pump. Got new shaft for the pump, bearings. I got exhaust header gaskets, some assembly lube, a couple filters. Just decided to go with the 1040 weight oil. Figured go a little bit heavier, might be beneficial. I think the first fire we're just going to throw this Fram filter on there, and then we'll do another oil change. I'll throw one of those Motorcrafts on there. Got the transmission jack. So we're going to try jacking this thing up a bit higher. Get that trans jack under there and pull that cross member down. And my dad's got overalls because he's a badass. So we're going to get this thing jacked up. Get this bar going, drop that K-member, and start going to town on this thing. Still got that front seal to jam in there, which I just picked up this 2-inch socket. So this thing should do a really good job of driving that thing in there. Shouldn't be any problems. It should clear the crank snout and all that. That crank snout doesn't stick out very far. So got the new rear main and all that. So get cracking on this. Got the engine bar hooked up again. Just want to start lifting it until you see it separating from the K-member. So then we use that new trans jack, which worked out really good because this K-member is it's like front heavy, so it's kind of awkward to handle. But probably should have put this jack closer to the front, but it came down okay. You know, just keep going down on each side evenly. It's a lot easier than trying to wrestle it down by hand, which, you know, you could do that too. Get someone under there to bench press it down, but you probably have to have 3 guys to do that. So that worked out really good. Trans jack's already paid for itself in that effort. Alright, so we just put the trans jack under the trans for little added safety. Double jack stands. Lubed up that trans jack with some liquid wrench dry lube. Stuff worked out pretty good. So I'm going to use this Prep All wax and grease remover to clean off the new bearings. Got all the bearings here. Got a new drive shaft for the pump. There's a new pump. So start throwing these things in there.
God.
Alright guys, I'm going to try to show you how I'm cleaning the rod caps. And looks like 6 out of the 8 were spun. So just kind of getting the cap down here, flooding it with the cleaner. So, I mean, that's the first wipe. It's pretty dirty. So just want to get most of the poo-poo off of here and move on to a cleaner towel. So just with that cleaner saturated on the rag, just wiping back and forth. Still quite a bit of dirt in there. So you want to just keep doing that until you wipe it and the towel is clean. So I'm going to flip it to another section. So it's a lot cleaner this time. I think that'll be good. Alright, so I got it cleaned up. Just gonna load this bearing in here. Get some of this assembly lube. Probably shouldn't use a Q-tip, but I don't think this is the Brian Tooley preferred method, but I think it'll work for us. Got all loaded up.
Yep.
You ready?
Yeah.
Alright, so that's the last rod cap. Show you guys what came out of there. Like I said, 6 out of 8 were spun. Really don't know how this motor didn't lock up. That's where that thrust bearing goes. Pretty beat up.
Oh, well.
Crank's not looking too good, but not much we can do about that. It's that number 1 main cap. Really deep gouges in there. This main cap actually smells burnt. You can kind of make out where it was getting hot. It's like discolored. It's the number 1 main. It's pretty thoroughly destroyed. I mean, that's really bad. Alright, so we got just the rear set of main bearings left to slap in there. Got that main cap from the back off of there. Looks like that rear main was fairly destroyed. That cap smells all burnt up too.
This is all shot. You can see how this thing can move it. Oh, screwdriver now. So you can just move it around. So that definitely was not keeping any oil in. All right. We get the Kaka bearing out of here. Hopefully it'll cooperate.
Got that cleaned up pretty good.
Take the 3/4.
Alright, got everything torqued down. Got the main caps torqued, did that thrust bearing last. Prying on everything the way you're supposed to. Got the rod caps all torqued down. So the new oil pump, wanted to take it apart. I'm going to clean this thing out. It's got a bunch of this assembly lube. So I'm going to get it cleaned out, lube it all up, you know, get everything coated real nice, get the bottom of this plate coated, and then reassemble it with some Loctite on these bolts. Alright, so took it apart, cleaned it, got it packed up with that assembly lube. Just gonna clean up around the edges here, get that plate back on. Like I said, Loctite these bolts.